Guys, welcome back. It is Racer X, and today I actually want to do a little video, actually a sequel to one of the best videos that's been on my channel to date. That video was titled 0 to 60 on the street, the Hellcat versus the Scat Pack. That video generated all sorts of buzz. People had a lot of questions about it. People had recommendations. There were people that loved it. There were people that just really questioned the results of it. But at the end of the day, I think everybody agreed that the results were maybe a little bit surprising. And you know what? I wanted to change up a couple of those variables this time and kind of redo that same test. It should actually be quite a bit of fun. Also, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button down there on in the corner, and also make sure you hit the like button. And we're off. We got the 1,000 horsepower Hellcat. So as many of you may know, we actually were able to test out a couple of different tires on both the Hellcat and the 2019 Scat Pack Shaker, and the results were actually quite surprising. As we know, this is a mid 9-second car. The Hellcat is an absolute monster. Through and through at the track, that thing performs like an absolute beast. This car being a stock car, I basically thought it had no chance, even on the street, and I turned out to be wrong. So I actually want to kind of show you a little recap of the results of our last test, and do keep in mind that that the cars were running basically in street trim, meaning that they were running street tire pressures, and it was basically meant to emulate what it would be like rolling up on somebody just under normal driving conditions out on the street anywhere in America without changing things, warming up the tires, lowering the pressures and stuff like that. So here is a recap of the results. That was a spin fest, to say the least. I'm absolutely spinning like crazy. See how she does. Car runs pretty darn good with these little Mickey Thompsons. I'm sorry, with the Nittos on the back. Next, we're going to move over to the Mickey Thompsons and see if we can better that 4.4 that we just did. At the end of the day, it's amazing. The Scat Pack is equally as fast with the Mickey Thompsons on there. It is faster with the Nittos on there. And as you can see, 5.1 with the street tires. It's going to be a tough deal with those little 245s. That is the best we can muster. But so what does that tell us? At the end of the day, it is all about traction on the street. Kind of a little bit of a surprising result that a 1,000 horsepower car can actually get bested by a car that makes 485 horsepower and it's stock. So okay, so obviously really surprising results, seeing as how one car makes more than double the horsepower, but as we know, it is all limited by the amount of traction. And also keep in mind that was in the summertime under very, very hot conditions. Now, I had a lot of different people chime in and say, look, you know, I get 4.4 or whatever all day long on 245s, and you know, I've got a moped that runs 2.1 seconds 0 to 60, and you know, I've got a Civic that runs low ones, and it was just interesting comments. But at the end of the day, there were some factors that kind of limited the times on the cars. Obviously, the street conditions were not ideal, and also it was like 100 degrees outside. So what I want to do this time is I want to change things up. I'm actually going to try and make the conditions much more favorable. Now we're here into in November basically, and we've got much cooler air, which means the cars are going to make more power. And we'll see if that actually helps the times. But this time I'm actually going to make an effort to lower the tire pressures on the tires. Also, I want to make an effort to kind of maybe heat the tires up just a little bit to kind of get better times, just so I can show you guys that yes, these cars are capable of hitting better times than before. And also, I want to kind of show you guys a different tire. I'm actually going to use my track tire. It's a radial, but I'm going to put it on both cars, and we can see what these things can really do, because I think that thing is really going to hook the cars up. Maybe not the Hellcat so much just because it makes so much power, but it's definitely going to hook it up better, and we'll see the results of that as well. This should be a really fun test. Okay, so we've got the same drag radials kind of lined up for this test. As you can see, we still have the Mickey Thompson ET Street SS right here in a 305 20-inch tall tire. And also we do have the NT, the Nitto NT555R in the same width, a 305. It is a 20-inch rim on that as well. And then, of course, we will be testing out the track tires. I'll show you those. Now, as you can see, I still have these on the Hellcat. Actually, at an event not too long ago, I still have the full drag pack on the car. I'm going to change the fronts to normal street tires, but there you can see it. That is a 305 width ET Street R from Mickey Thompson, and boy, this thing really does hook up that Hellcat at the track. I know, obviously, the street is kind of the equalizer, but I think this one is really going to favor the Hellcat, because I feel like at least the Mickey Thompson really did a good job of hooking up the Scat Pack. This thing did not hook up hardly at all last time, but I think with lower pressures and I think with this more aggressive tire, this is a 17-inch, keep that in mind, I think the Hellcat is going to actually shine with this kind of meat on the back of it, but we are going to find out. So for the purposes of this particular test, we are going to make a few adjustments. So on the tire pressures, instead of running normal street tire pressures like last time, we're going to go ahead and take these tire pressures down to maybe 22 pounds. I don't necessarily recommend taking any normal street tire down past that point. So we'll go ahead and take it down to 22 pounds, including the little RSAs on the back of the Scat Pack. And then the drag radius, the other drag radius, we'll take down to about 22 pounds as well, to just kind of keep everything nice and even, keep the playing field level. And who knows, maybe that'll yield a little better result for us. So let's see what happens. Okay, so now aboard the 2019 Scat Pack Challenger, and so this car, I do have the street tires on the back, as you saw, 22 pounds of air in the street tires. They're only those little 245s, so I know for sure that this thing is going to want to spin, so I'm going to have to take all the precautions I can to keep the thing planted, right? So I'm going to go ahead and try and leave everything just in street mode. I'll probably, with these street tires, maybe even leave in second gear might help a little bit, and I'll try and put a little bit of heat in the tire. So let's give it a whirl and see how it goes. Run one. We're going to leave in second gear, got just a little bit of heat in the tire, but not a lot, and we're going to wait and see how it goes. Okay, that one was a 5.3. Sorry about the sunlight, guys. Now, I will tell you that in my experience, trying to put heat in street tires is almost like a moot point. The compound just doesn't really respond that well to trying to be kind of warmed up. On a drag radial, it's a different story, but I don't know if my times are going to get better by putting any more heat in the tire, but I'll try a little bit of heat in the tire, and we'll see if we improve it all. Okay, second attempt, leaving in second gear, a little more heat in the tire. Don't know if that's going to make much difference. 0 to 60 in the Scat Pack. Let's see how we do. That was a 5.1. So 5.1 is about as good as we can get so far. Okay, so third and final try. Once again, we're just going to kind of roll into it. Second gear we're going to leave in. Everything's in street mode. Let's see how we do here. Not very good. Had a lot of wheel spin off the line. It's just so hard to get this much torque off the line. That was a 5.8, guys. The car just does not want to hook, even in second gear with lower tire pressures. The best we could muster in the Scat Pack Challenger with the street tires was a 5.1, 0 to 60. It is a tough order to get this car to hook on those 245s. Now begins the arduous task of swapping all the tires all over the place. So we're going to take tires off of this car and we're going to stick them over here on this car, but in order to take these off, I got to put a different set on there, and it's just kind of playing musical tires. So a little laborious, these videos, these 0 to 60 videos, but you know what, hopefully we'll get a good result and it will be worth the time, because it's pain. Okay, so the tires are changed. Believe it or not, I do have the little 245 kind of firm Scat Pack street tires on the back of that 1,000 horsepower monster. It looks pretty ridiculous, to be honest with you. And it's kind of like putting ballet slippers on a T-Rex or something. I don't know. But chances are I'm going to be able to spin those tires at like 100 miles an hour if I really wanted to. How in the world I'm going to get it 0 to 60 in any sort of a decent time it's going to be an interesting deal. Let's just say that. So Let's go give it a shot. So now in the 1,000+ horsepower Hellcat, I have put on the 245 Eagle RSA2 hard street tires from the Scat Pack. And the Scat Pack can readily spin these all the way into like 3rd gear. This car, this is just, I don't know what to say. This is going to be sketchy. I don't know how else to put it. I don't recommend this at home. But I've got the 245s on the back of this thing, and we're going to try and do 0 to 60. And I don't expect this to be a record-shattering undertaking. We're going to find out. So on this first attempt, I'm actually going to attempt to lower the power down to 500 horsepower and leave in 2nd gear with the tires warm. And we'll see what this thing does. And I'm going to put it right in the middle and try and keep it in the middle. And let's just see what happens. I'm leaving traction control on. So we'll definitely, we'll give it a whirl here and see how it goes. That was a 5.5. So tons of spin, even at 500 horsepower mode. So what do you do? I mean, I'm just literally trying to modulate the throttle still. 5.5 on that one. This time, the only thing I'm changing, everything's still in sport mode. I'm sorry, street mode, not in sport. We're in street mode. And I'm still gonna leave in 2nd gear. This time I bumped up the horsepower to 700. Hopefully we can keep everything where it's supposed to be. Here we go. That is legitly sketchy. That is legitly sketchy. That was a 6.2. The car just will not grab with these things on here. It just way too much power. It doesn't matter how much I modulate the throttle, it overpowers it. Last time in drive, 500 horsepower mode, which means everything's in street mode. I'm just gonna leave it in 1st this time. And let's just wait and see. Let's see how she does here. Try and keep it in between the ditches. A 6.0. So obviously the best way to do this with these little 245s on there is to put in 500 horsepower mode, leave in 2nd gear, and then just kind of feather the throttle and try your best to keep it planted. Still kind of a tough order to hook these up. We knew it was going to be, but hey, you know what? It's part of the research, so onward. Well, unfortunately, I lost a little bit of light outside, so I went ahead and kind of pulled up in here where the lighting is a little better so I can show you guys the scoreboard here. So here we have our results from before with regular street pressures. That was actually part 1 of this 2-part series. And down below here in green we have with the tire pressures reduced and maybe a little bit of heat in the tire as well from a burnout. And as you can see on the 245 Eagle RSAs, no difference on the Scat Pack. It was 5.1 previously, and of course we got 5.1 this time. And of course on the Hellcat we knew that it was going to be kind of a tough go. It ended up getting a 5.5, just way too much power for those little 245s to hook up at all. And so you can see that the Scat Pack definitely won. That does not surprise me because of the way the Scat Pack puts power down. But guess what? We're on to the Nittos this time, so let's see how that goes. Okay, so next up is the Nitto NT555R drag radial in a 305 width. Of course, we do have the 20-inch wheel there, and we'll go first with the Scat Pack. Just that the tire pressure is set to 22, so we're going to be consistent with it. As you can see, 22 pounds, and let's go give it a shot. Okay, so we're in the 2019 Scat Pack Challenger with the shaker package on it, and even having the Nittos in the back right now, I can just tell a difference in driving in terms of how well the car just wants to grab the road. It's a huge difference just going from the stockers to these drag radials. The car definitely feels nice and planted. So go run this thing through its paces and we'll see how it goes. So based upon what we learned from last time, the Scat Pack seems to like to leave a lot better in 1st gear, or at least it seems to perform better in 1st gear with the drag radials on the back. So I am going to leave in 1st gear. I think we're going to go ahead and just try sport mode, and I'm not going to heat the tires up on this first pass. Sorry about the sun, guys. But I'm just going to kind of remember, we're running 22 pounds versus 34 like in the car last time, so we'll see if it hooks any better and gets us a better time. And then on the second couple of runs, we'll try and put some heat in the tires and see if that makes a difference. Leaving in first gear. Here we go. Okay, so first run with the Nitto NT555R drag radial at 22 pounds was a 4.8. So let's see if we can improve upon that number on the next one with a little heat in the tire. Go for some heat. All right, we got heat in the tires. We're gonna leave everything else the same. Let's see how it goes. So 4.6 on that one. So that was a little better. Hopefully we can still do a little better yet. Third and final run, I'm just going to leave it in street mode this time, and let's see how it goes. The tires are warm, should be decent. Let's give it a shot here. Okay, so that one was a 4.9. So the car definitely likes to be in sport mode a little bit better. But we're looking at a 4.6 is the best we've been able to do on the Nittos. So there you go. I have now moved the Nitto NT555R drag radials to the back of the Hellcat. Thank goodness we got those little 245 Scat Pack tires off the back of this thing. So I'm on the way now to go ahead and give a couple of runs with the Nittos on there. Okay, so on this first pass, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave it in 500 horsepower mode. And in that way, maybe it'll give me a better chance of actually hooking this thing up. I want to leave it in first gear though. I'm gonna kind of leave it 500 horsepower mode, first gear with the Nittos, no warm up on them. Let's just kind of wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens here. So that was a 4.7 in 500 horsepower mode. So I think what it's actually telling me is that the 0 to 60 on a non-prep street like this, that's not ideal. It really doesn't hurt me to go to 500 horsepower mode. It really doesn't. Might almost make it easier. So on the next one, I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to 700 horsepower. And I'm going to try the same thing, but I'm going to leave in second gear. But I'm going to go ahead and do a tire warm up as well. So we're in 700 horsepower mode. The tires are warmed up. I'm going to leave in second gear and see what she does. I got a 4.3 on that one. So I guess heating up the tires does make a little bit of a difference. So third and final run, we'll do the same thing. I think this second gear with the 700 horsepower mode, with the tires warmed up, just regular street mode, I think this seems to be the best option for these Nittos. We're gonna go ahead and give it one more shot. Last one was a 4.3. See how we do on this one. Second gear. So 4.2 on that one. Well, the car was really trying to get sideways, but you know what, 4.2. So a little bit of an improvement there with the Nittos. So kind of nice to see that. So there you have it. The Hellcat actually prevailed on this one. You can see previously the Scat Pack was actually slightly faster, about 0.4 faster than the Hellcat. 4.4 versus a 4.8. And this time around with heat in the tire and slightly less pressure, the Scat Pack actually went a little bit slower at a 4.6, which is a little perplexing, but the Hellcat actually went over half a second faster. So the Hellcat actually won this one 4.2 versus a 4.6. So a little bit of a mixed result on that. Interesting. Well, now we've got the Mickey Thompson Street SS's all bolted up to the back of the Scat Pack. So we're moving on to this tire here. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. I'll lower it to about 22 pounds of pressure in the tire and probably get them a little heated up in the second and third run here momentarily. We'll give it a shot. Now aboard the 2019 Scat Pack Challenger. So on this one, obviously we've got the Mickey Thompson Street SS on the back with the 305 width. Really, really good tire. This tire is actually kind of getting a little bit low on tread, but the compound is fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and try and leave on this one just in regular street mode, and I've not warmed up the tires. And I am gonna go ahead and leave in first. It seems like with the Scat Pack, it doesn't do it any favors to leave it in second. Like with the Hellcat makes a huge difference. If you leave in second, it just grabs better. Scat Pack, not so much. The first gear, it just seems to like better. So first gear, street mode, no warm up on the tires. Here we go. Okay, so a 4.5 on with no heat in the tire on the first run. So this time we're going to be in. We'll go ahead and get some heat in the tire. We'll go ahead and put it in sport mode, and we'll leave in first and see how it goes. That was 4.5. I had a lot of wheel spin off the line, so I mismanaged how much I could get jumping from the jump off the line here, but we'll give it one more shot. I'm going to leave it in all the same drive modes with hopefully a little less wheel slip from the beginning. In sport mode, it does hit a little harder, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to keep the tires from spinning off the bat. All right, some heat in the tire, third and final run, sport mode, first gear in the Scat Pack. Here we go. I still got a 4.5. For some odd reason, the Mickey Thompson, I'm still blowing the tire off just a little bit. Maybe it's the sport mode that's doing it to me. Perhaps if I kept it in street mode, it would be better. But I know with the Nitto, it did better in sport mode. So I can't explain that. But at any rate, still not too bad, a 4.5. Okay, so I am now in the Hellcat. It's actually kind of gotten dark on me out here, so luckily I don't have to do any more tire changes. But I'm actually in the Hellcat. I have got the Mickey Thompson ET Street SS's on the back, the 305s. And on this first run here, I actually just want to kind of keep the car in 500 horsepower mode, everything in street. And I'm going to try and hook this thing up and see what it will do 0 to 60. And on the next one, maybe I'll heat up the tires a little bit and maybe bump it up to 700. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, first run, we'll go ahead and just kind of keep it in 500 horsepower mode. That was a 4.7. Not the best. Okay, guys, second run with the tires heated up on the Mickey Thompson Street SS. And we are in 700 horsepower mode this time, but everything else is in street. Here we go. That was a 4.5. Third and final run in the Hellcat Mickey Thompson Street SS. Here we go. That was a 4.2, a little better that time, so it didn't quite spin so bad off the line. So that was our best run with the Mickey Thompson Street SS, was a 4.2, not too shabby. Okay, after testing the Mickey Thompson Street SS tire, as you can see previously 4.2 on both cars, and then of course after we lowered the tire pressure and gave them some heat, we produced the same exact result of 4.2 in the Hellcat. And for some odd reason, the Scat Pack actually went up a little bit to a 4.5, kind of a weird result. But as you can see, the Hellcat actually outperformed the Scat Pack this time on that Mickey Thompson. Another kind of a little bit of a strange result, but interesting nonetheless. Okay, so here is the deal. You can see behind me, I've actually got the butt ends of both cars up in the air. One of them's got the jack, the other's got jack stands underneath it. Unfortunately, to run this 17-inch tall wheel, and the bigger Mickey Thompson ET Street R, I have to change the end links on the car, and unfortunately only the Hellcat has the shorter end links on it to allow me to run this tire. So what that means is I actually have to take them off the Hellcat, stick them on the Scat Pack, then go ahead and mount up the tires, and then do this test for you guys. And then of course, in order for me to test the Hellcat, I gotta reverse everything and redo exactly what I just did. So it's a little bit of work. You can actually buy these things for about 90 bucks. I just didn't happen to have an extra set on hand to stick on the Scat Pack, but I definitely need to get some. It's gonna create a little bit of extra work for this test, but we're gonna make it go. All right, in the 2019 Scat Pack, I did finally get the ET Street R, the 17-inch tires and wheel combination on the back of the car. I'm actually really excited to see how the car performs with this tire and wheel setup, because I feel like it will almost just dead hook on the street. So what we're gonna find out here in just a second. I'm gonna leave this first one in regular street mode. Obviously I'm not gonna leave in second gear, shouldn't need to on these, but I'm not gonna heat up the tires. So we'll see how it does on this first one, and we'll go from there, probably heat the tires up on the next pass. So here we go, street mode, ET Street Rs. That was a 4.0. Car felt like it almost dead hooked. Pretty solid little hit right there. And I'm not surprised. I think this thing with the little heat in the tire will actually go a 3 something. We're gonna find out here in just a second. Need to put a little bit of heat in the tire. All right, second run, we got some heat in the tire. We're gonna see how this thing does. 0 to 60 with heat in the tire this time. I've got it in sport mode. We're gonna see if she hooks. Let's go for it here. Did not hook in sport mode, so I still have to lean into it a little bit. That was a 4.9, not my best effort there, but I'm gonna try it again just real quick and see what we can do, just leaning into it a little bit. All the same settings. I'm gonna try it again, lean into it just a little bit more. It didn't dead hook, which I was a little disappointed, but I think I can probably lean into it here pretty good, and we'll see. One more time. Run 3. And that was a 4.4. So interesting result. Sorry about the sun in my face here, guys, but interesting result. It was actually fastest right off the hit. Okay, guys, one more quick little shot at this here. We're gonna keep it in sport mode, try and kind of roll into this, and see if I can get a little bit better time going up the hill here. Here we go. 4.5. So the 4.1 was as good as I could get. I'm sorry, 4.0. I believe I had a 4.0 on the first run. Car still doesn't really dead hook, even on the ET Street Rs back here. I think a lot of it has to do with the street, but you know what? We got a 4.0 out of it, which, hey, not too bad for a stock Scat Pack. Okay, so now I am aboard the 1,000+ horsepower Hellcat, and as we've talked about already, the weather today is cooler. It's in the high 50s, and it's beautiful outside. You really couldn't ask for much more. The car is going to make a lot of power. We'll see how much better it actually puts the power down with these ET Street Rs on there. Of course, the 17-inch tire is going to give you more sidewall, and I'm going to try and get these tires warm as we've been doing with the other ones. I've got my water here. And so we'll get the tires warm, and I'm gonna keep it in street mode this time because I feel like that gives me the best chance to get the power hooked. And the first one we'll try it in first gear, and in the next one maybe we'll try it in second, depending upon how it goes. So let's give it a whirl. Okay, so for this first run, I'm gonna keep the car in just normal street mode, everything street mode. Still keep the 700 horsepower, which obviously we know it makes a lot more than that. But then also I'm gonna keep the traction control on. I'm not even going to heat the tires up. I just want to see if the ET Street Rs will help the car grab at all, and we'll see what kind of time we lay down. So here we go. It was still a 5.0, so it was just still modulating a lot of spin. Now keep in mind, guys, like I said, this road is kind of dusty. It's out here in nowhere land. Not gonna tell you exactly where nowhere land is, but it's south of the border. And not an ideal road in terms of nice, clean, surface. But you know what? That's real world. Same thing, street mode. Traction control's off this time. Let's see what she does. second gear. Here we go. .6, I'm still spinning pretty bad. It's just even modulating the throttle, taking off in second, it feels like there's a little bit of lag, and then it just, all of that power comes on really hard. Even with the ET Street R's in there, it's a little bit of a tough gig to try and get this thing to hook. So what can you do? But 4.3 is the best we were able to muster with the ET Street R's. Well, there you have it. So that is all the results from the testing that we did with all 4 of those tires in both cars. And you can see here, you got the ET Street R, and that one actually a 4.0 delivered from the Scat Pack. And then of course we had a 4.3 from the Hellcat, and I was kind of hoping both cars would get into the 3s. Unfortunately, that did not happen today. So, you know what, in conclusion, I mean, you can see all the results here. Really only once was the car actually faster than it was before with lowering the tire pressure and putting heat in the tires. And I just think that's a really weird result. So my honest assessment is this. You've got a lot of variables out there, whether it's tire pressure or heat, the type of street, the type of driver, the type of car, tons and tons of variables out there. But ultimately, it's all about what that individual street will hold on that particular day with that particular tire. And you know what, guys, it is a battle to hook cars like these modern day cars with as much power as they make. It's a battle to get that power down to the ground effectively. And you know what, it just takes practice and knowing your car and knowing the road and knowing the conditions outside. And you know what, I mean, we're kind of all over the place here, to be honest with you. And I've been driving for quite some time, lots of different cars I've had in my life, but it's a really, really fun test, guys. So you know what, if you have any comments, make sure you drop those down below. I want to appreciate, you know, and it's a little bit of a long video, but I do appreciate you taking the time to watch it. These are always a lot of fun. They're a lot of work, but they're a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, Racer X.